Welcome to Dry Arabia! And today, spawning in the east side of the map in orange, we've got 3DB playing as the Delhi Sultanate, and his opponent today on the west side of the map in blue, we've got Vortix playing as the Malians. Welcome everyone to this Age of Empires forecasted game with two of the very best players in Age of Empires 4 going toe to toe with two of the civilizations which are very strong in the feudal age. In particular, the Delhi Sultanate. This is where they thrive in the feudal age. They often go for the sacred sites, of course. They'll look to protect that and get those that free passive gold generation that they love. And of course, they're going to get free upgrades as well. Everything is very much free with the Delhi Sultanate. It just takes a bit of time, takes a bit of care, takes a bit of effort. But with the Malians, they also get free stuff as well. Passive gold generation from the pit mine. And also maybe cow booming. Now, I think the interesting dynamic thing about the civilization matchup is the Malians. Things have changed. They often used to be a civilization that goes for a very heavy kind of focus towards Castle Age. The Furim Garrison, that's where the power spike used to lie. But actually at the moment, I feel like actually extended feudal age is very strong for the Malians, especially if they go for the cow boom. Uncontested, that cow boom, when it does get online, when it does start to pay dividends, oh boy, does it come and pay dividends. It gets a lot of food per minute. It's super strong, and so if they stay in the feudal age with that cow boom, it's super hard to stop. Having said that though, the Delhi Sultanate could be one of the civilizations that are pretty decent at dealing with that. Like they can get onto the map and force the Malians into try and make units really, because if they don't, then the sacred sites will come under the control of the Delhi Sultanate. That's a lot of sheep coming in for B, which is kind of nice, and that's something to consider actually in this matchup. The Delhi Sultanate is one of the civilizations that kind of focus on berries in the initial parts of the game. As you can see, 8 villages on berries. It means that the scout can go out and about, stay out there for longer, gather as much sheep as possible. Whereas the opponent, for example the Malians, will have to come back so often, you know, just to drop off the sheep so that the villagers can gather it underneath the town centre. And, well, that gives it a slight edge in the early game for sheep gathering, at least for 3DB and his Delhi Sultanate. Now, as we progress into the later stages of the game, I think there's going to be an interesting dynamic where the Malians, because they get gold for free, they could transition to a castle age a little bit earlier than the Delhi Sultanate. It depends though, because the Delhi Sultanate might get those sacred sites. And of course, going up with the Dome of the Faith landmark is very commonly chosen here for the Delhi Sultanate these days. We'll get those scholars cheaper with a 50 discount of gold, and also produces them a little bit faster, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Actually, it might be the same, actually. There's gone through a few changes, so I'll have to double check that. It's going to be the Matza Quarry, the landmark of choice for the Malians. And that will give the passive gold generation as well as the game goes on. Has one pit mine at the top already. Now, interestingly enough, has 2 gold veins. So this could be a big source of contention in this match. Like, I think the Delhi probably should target this as much as they possibly can. It has 2 gold veins that Vortix has, kind of risky in one kind of screen. And you know, a couple of outposts here from B. Lots of military camping. In fact, add a third one. That's actually quite rough how 3 gold veins are in the north part or north aspect of Vortix's base, and I suspect B will do well to try and challenge that, but we will see what it decides to do as we head into almost the 4th minute of the game, with B going to get to the next stage a little bit quicker than Vortix, but not by far. In fact, actually, maybe not, because the Matza Quarry is being built by 5 villagers. I think Vortix just gets there in time ahead of Delhi. I mean, it's going to be a bit of a photo finish. Yeah, I think Vortix gets there a little bit earlier, but I mean, there's small margins, not huge difference. It does mean that actually that villager, instead of building, could have been gathering resources. So B will be expecting to have a little bit of a stronger economy, although as I say that, you know, the pit mine has been generating gold. And I think that's something to bear in mind throughout the course of the game. Like on the top of the screen, I do have the villagers obviously showing on which resource and the total villager count. But one thing to bear in mind with the Malians, it can be deceptive, is if there are cow booming going on, then that doesn't actually take population space. I think it's one of those things in Age of Empires 4 that might have to take another rework, another look at, because the cow's not taking population space is really quite crazy in the super late game. If it gets there, but the Malians tend not to get there, to be fair. In any case, you know, we won't be able to factor that in. We're going to have to kind of toggle between the food gathered per minute to really see and assess the cow boom's effectiveness. Now that we're in the feudal age, I'll be expecting to see a stable. There we are. It's going to be Ghazi Raiders, as you'd expect from the Delhi Sultanate. They want that mobility, right? They kind of prioritize that. The trouble for the Delhi in many ways is that the Malians, they do have some really good tools against the Delhi, and that's just primarily the units, right? They've got the Donso, which has the spearman. It's basically the spearman equivalent that can throw the spears. Adds that little bit of ranged element to that unit, which is really quite nice. They've got the javelin throwers that do great against archers. And, well, I mean, of course, B's going to go for stable units first, anyway, the Ghazi Raiders. But often the Delhi Sultanate want to go for Ghazi Raiders and Archers. And a mixture of Donso and Javelin Throwers for the Malians can be super strong. As you can see now, he is getting that barracks to counter the Horsemen. It's got the secondary pit mine already built and established there, Vortix. So the gold income will be coming in nice and handy for him. Yeah, the wolves just being a bit pesky there, a little bit. The scout going around the north just to check on things, checking the stone. Unlikely that Delhi Sultanate goes to town centers, they very rarely do. 3 villages on gold should be able to maintain the scholar production. As you can see, he's got 3 so far. Getting the technologies from the mosque rather. Gonna be getting that sanctity pretty soon, so I'll be expecting to see the scholars move out to the mid-map and the sacred sites pretty soon. And he does have 10 military on the field, right? So we kind of expect this from the Delhi Sultanate to have that early map presence. But there's not a lot of damage they can do until the sort of like the 8th minute when they get the massive units out, and he might be preoccupied of actually getting the sacred sites. But Vortix will have to stay at home with his units for a little while. And as you can see, he's going to start to getting that cow boom up and running. He's got the first few cows coming out from the mill, kind of going the long way around, I'm afraid. And now he's going to get an archery range. So it's going to be certainly javelin throwers and donsos as we predicted, as we expected. The awkward situation for Vortix is where does he do the cow boom? Like, he built his landmark at the back. This could have been a nice opportunity, a nice space for it. Might have to do it here, which is not ideal on the front lines. And you can see B already trying to pressurize the 2 gold veins, which is exactly what he would want to do. And we talked about it in the early part of the game, like actually looking at the bases and the layout and the RNG of the resources. It kind of makes sense to be attacking this area. Going for the houses now, torching them with the Ghazi Raiders. We do see the scholars now moving out onto the map. Well, I don't see them, but I can assume that they're there. There we are. 2 of them in the middle. There's 1 going northwards, and I suspect 1 going south. Yep, that is indeed the case. That's going to activate the sacred site timer, and I think this is where things are becoming interesting, because right, Vortix has to stay at home before the cow boom really starts coming into effect. It might not be cow booming, it just might be just getting cows actually. In any case, he's going to be a few more minutes away before he gets a critical army, a critical massive army that he can really push out with, and that gives time for B to really establish himself on the map. And if he can get some palisade walls to protect the sacred sites, not only will he get the sacred site timer ticking, but a potential win condition for the Delhi. He'll also secure them and just make it a little bit harder to be deactivated, although he's going to make some effort to do that now on the southern one. Got to be careful, B. He's going to need to send some units here. The wolf will chew that scholar alive. He's sending 1 Ghazi Raider to deal with that. He's preoccupied with the other wolf. This is the wrong wolf, my dude. Hello? Okay, he's now going to go for the wolf. He's going to go with 2 Ghazi Raiders with their heavy mace there, as you can see. And the scholar will survive. The scout will have to back away there. Well, can't really deny that just yet. Vortix, but he did hold the sacred site timer from activating for quite some time with contesting it. We're going to go for the middle sacred site now. B doesn't actually have any units here, and we're approaching that time of the game where Vortix has a decent number of units. And B is going to need to transition to some archers for sure. It does have the archery range up and running, nothing supervising though. With the Delhi, you can actually garrison inside the production buildings a scholar. As you can see, 1 out of 1 here for the stable, but 0. Oh, we just put them on in now. There's 1 out of 1 for the archery range as well, so we're going to be producing a lot from that. It's going to continue with that scholar production as well. And that will mean, it might be going for a scholar spam. It's quite a common strategy for the Delhi Sultanate. But you can see good few hits there. Oh, that's not great there for B. He's going to try and get us around on the javelin throws, but the Donsos are there. And the Donso is going to be dishing out a lot of damage. I'm not sure if there's going to be enough Donsos there. There's certainly enough to do a lot of damage. The scholar's coming in, but I think B has to get out of there. He lost a lot of units. The Donso is just obviously the direct counter. You can see so many dead horses. The Ghazi Raiders need to be careful. The archers need to get on the action. If the archers can take out the Donsos, then he can kind of flood with the... Oh, he's just engaging. The good thing in a way for the Delhi, he can take off HP, valuable HP off the Donsos, as long as it doesn't lose units. And those units can just recover and heal themselves. Javelin throws might snipe another. He's going to get away with it, but he's going to snipe a couple of the archers on the retreat. So not ideal here for B. Did lose quite a few units. But he does have the sacred site timer ticking now. 9.5 minutes on the clock. And I wonder whether he'll transition to some more villages on wood. That will actually give him the ability to build those palisade walls. Getting a double blacksmith. Getting those upgrades pretty soon. If he can get that one up and running, he does. Does have 4 scholars as well. So in order to actually increase the speed of research for the Delhi Sultanate, you need to have scholars inside your Dome of the Faith or your mosque. Either one will do, or both rather, is ideal. Look at now palisade wall the north sacred site. think the next one probably should be the south sacred site and just maybe contest and fight with units in the middle for now at least. But yeah, Vortix starting to build up a large number of units. Like we've got 16 so far. Maybe it's going to be moving out a little bit. There we are. It's going to start to move out to the middle sacred site. But yeah, B's going to be walling this up with the palisades with the archers there. And the Donsos and the javelin throwers getting that little bit of range attack on them. And well, this is a tricky situation for B because he won't want to that sacred site timer to reset, but he doesn't really quite have the military numbers that he would like. He's got a decent number, but he needs to try and take a really favourable engagement. Maybe trying to go around the back side of that fight with the Ghazi Raiders trying to focus on the javelin throwers, but it's just quite a significant number of Donsos there. It feels like he doesn't really have enough archers here, B. He's got a lot of Ghazi Raiders, but the archers need to focus on the Donsos. Just not enough. The javelin throwers are ripping through them. There are scholars trying to heal. He's going to engage here, but I'm not sure about this fight. It could be working out well for B as long as he can get the Donso numbers down, but the archers are all gone. It's going to be just javelin throwers and Donsos versus Ghazi Raiders, but the Ghazi Raiders, I don't know if they have enough. He's going to micro them as much as he can, but so many of the Ghazi Raiders go down. That's a terrible fight for B in the end. It really never felt like it was going to work out for him, and well, oh, he's just lost a lot. Vortix is going to back off now though, because some reinforcements are coming in from the archers. I mean, overall, he's kept the timer running, but at what cost? He lost a lot of units there, B. But he's starting to build those units back up again. 32 to 14. Not all has been lost. He's now going to look to try and wall up that middle sacred site. I don't blame him. Northern sacred site, nice and secure. Southern one, going to send a couple of the... Oh, he's deactivated that. That's a bit of a problem for B. It means that resets the timer. He wouldn't have wanted that. I mean, just one hardened Donso doing that. Less than ideal. Now he's going to try and put some pressure in the middle now, Vortix. 3 javelin throwers, mostly Donsos. He's going to need a lot of archers here. And I think a lot of this comes down to the javelin throwers. It's such a great unique unit for the Malians, right? That I feel like the javelin throwers are causing so many problems. Because if they were regular archers, you know, if they didn't get javelin throwers, then I think B's archers would have just done so much more damage to the Donsos, right? They wouldn't have been melted so much. Having said that, the Delhi Sultanate do have the scholars there, which certainly helped to the fight. The scholar in the south can be activating that sacred site. Well, it's going to be backing off for now, B. And, yeah, it's going to contest that middle sacred site. Could be looking to take another engagement. Vortix on the back of this does have that cow boom. And this is the crazy aspect of things, right? So B has been just kind of 1 TC. He's actually got professional scouts, which is kind of nice. He's going to be getting that deer food, and it's just as well because, you know, the thing is that we talked about how both civilizations are very feudal age aggression heavy, and the Malians can do it pretty well at the moment as well. But if they get the cow boom behind this, then this eco number at the top, 43 to 42, is a misnomer. It's just not right because, I mean, it tells you the numbers, but in terms of actual active units counted by population space. But don't let it fool you. That cow boom, the gold pit mine coming in to play, the passive generation of resources for the Malians is so strong. And we're taking a look at the fight here. Quite a few Donsos having to backtrack for now. Quite a few scholars here for B actually. He's really started to build up a large number of them. 12 of them. Going to be healing up those units. And I think B needs to take the fights, right? He can just take up fights, make sure he doesn't lose too many units and just heal them up again. Oh, but he loses them to one shot. For those Ghazi Raiders, you won't want that happening too often. Archers going on the front line, the javelin throwers are getting so much value. Scholars are trying to heal up as many units as they can. Here comes a fight. Ghazi Raiders try and get a bit of a hit, but they don't because the Donsos were ready and waiting to brace against them. Javelin throwers are looking to try and snipe a couple of imams if they can on the retreat. Just gets out of there. No, he gets it in the end. At least gets one. And now Vortix's numbers are looking to be a bit scary. Oh, the scholars are kind of left there on the front to kind of fend for themselves. Palisade walls have been built, but Vortix will probably burn through that very quickly with the Donsos. I think he's going to try and break through there. They are. The torches are out. They're going to burn through the corner piece. Once they do, we're getting through. B's sacred site timer is down to 8.5 minutes. A lot of scholars there, but I think it just feels like B is always short on archers, right? And I think primarily it's because some of them are dying to the javelin throwers. There are a lot of Donsos. It means that the Ghazi Raiders won't get the value that they would love to have. He's looking to deactivate that central sacred site now there, Vortix, and he might just get it. Gonna go through the gate. He picks off a Ghazi Raider on the charge in. The Donsos might just fight there. There's a nice choke point, and well, B doesn't get baited into that just as well because he would have lost a lot if he did. Here come the scholars on the back line to try and heal up any units that do get injured, and B is pushing that way. Vortix has to back off for now. Only a handful of javelin throws, so the archers might engage here. Donsos are going to back off. They're going to try against engage against the Ghazi Raiders. He does get a good wrap around, but would it be enough units to kill everything? I'm not so sure. There are quite a few scholars trying to heal up, but they're moving around rather than healing at this point. The Ghazi Raiders are engaging against the Donzos. I'm not sure there are enough archers. The archers are trying to focus on the Donzos, but this is rough for B, I think. He loses a lot, and he's going to have to back away with the scholars. But he lost a lot on the retreat, and now he's looking strong here, Vortix, with the numbers at least. He does actually still only have 29 military versus 44, but it looks different. It looks like Vortix is actually starting to come to the fore, and I think the longer the game goes, now he's got the cow boom sorted, right? So he's going to get passive food income, a lot of it. And we just have to take a look, like 22 villages on food, 27 for the Delhi, 22 for Vortix, and you can see, look at that food income. It's actually more for Vortix, despite having less villages on food. Of course, as you'd expect, because of the cow boom. And he's going to go to the castle age with the Grand Fulani Coral. That's going to pose problems for B, right? Because, going to the next stage is going to give him a tech up advantage. He deletes the walls, trying to engage against the sacred site, underneath the sacred site. He's going to fight here, B. He's going to take the fight with the Ghazi Raiders on the front line. I think Vortix loses everything. I think B is actually going to take a really good fight here with the scholars healing up. The Ghazi Raiders holding their own, and the Donso numbers are really starting to limit themselves. They're going down in droves, and the javelin throwers aren't there in numbers that they want to be. The Ghazi Raiders will rip through them. They're not really protected as well as they once used to be with the Donsos. Archers there for the Delhi Sultanate will take care of the rest of the Donsos. And there we are. The Ghazi Raiders win that fight really effectively. Now they're going to back off and start to re-palisade wall the central sacred site. Now, well, getting to the castle age with quite a few villages. He's rushing that castle age, and this is kind of a problem for B. Like, B has an option. He's got two decisions. Does he go to the castle age himself, or does he actually look to maybe pressurize on the feudal age? I don't know. It feels like he should go castle age, but it looks like he's going to bunker down. Like, he's kind of spending all his resources, going for the Ghazi Raiders on the gold. I mean, if he can cast off the gold, I think he should still be active with his army. But I would be expecting B to maybe consider going to that castle age. But it does mean he would have to stop production of units for at least for a short time, or at least slow them down. Gonna go right underneath the town centre. Hasn't killed a single villager yet. Donsos do brace, and well, this is a big fight. He's diving right underneath the town centre. Quite a few javelin throwers. Going to pick off the archers. The Ghazi Raiders going to dive in, pick off a lot of the villagers. Scholars coming out to heal as much as they possibly can. And it's going to be a bit of pathing issues around the production buildings. Scholars looking to heal those Ghazi Raiders as they remain, but he's going to lose a lot here, B. And he's continuing to produce, actually. He's got a lot more coming in. And the thing is that with him putting a lot of fights and a lot of aggressions, it does help his situation. But now he's going to back off. He's going to lose. He's lost a lot of units, right? And there's only 14 villages that have been idle. Don't forget all the passive generation of resources for the Malians. That hasn't been idled one little bit. Right, well, he's going to camp out on the 2 gold veins, and the problem for Vortix is not being able to go on gold. So he won't be able to get the Sofa. But that's not necessarily what he needs to do. He just needs to mass up the Jam Throws and the Donsos, and he should be fine. The Sacred Site timer is down to 5.5 minutes. I think B doesn't really want to go to the castle age. He doesn't want to let up on the unit production. He just wants to protect the Sacred Sites, and it can work, but the trouble is it's very all in, right? Because I just wonder whether B, if he went for the castle age, he might be able to hold on to the Sacred Sites for the short term with these units, but not for the long term, because if Vortix starts to really get these upgrades in, the Castle Age army would just be too strong for the Feudal Age army. A lot of villagers in the deer pack getting that nice bit of food coming in. Ghazi Raiders diving in on the villagers on the berries, and well, those are going to go down. Well, a lot of villagers, only 7 actually. I was thinking maybe it would have done a lot more damage, but it is what it is. He's grouping together though, Vortix. Now the thing is, he does have 33 military, which doesn't sound a lot, but these are Castle Age units. Here come the Ghazi Raiders and Archers, and the Scholars all gathering together for B. It looks like it's going to be one full hold in the middle. And I would love to have seen a couple of static defenses, a couple of outposts maybe. He's going to rely on units, it seems. I haven't said that. Javelin throws, they just do not mind arrow fire, to be fair, so they won't be finding too many problems. But the Donsos, not so much. They do take quite a bit of damage from the Archers and the arrow fire, so it just really depends where Vortix decides to pressure. Does he pressure the middle? Does he go for the Sacred Sites in the south? It looks like he's going to go for the middle, going to burn that down, and well, B needs to try and do something about this, because he won't want to let his opponent in too easily. He's going to take the fight. But these are veteran Donsos against Ghazi Raiders. It's not ideal. But 80 military, could this be enough for B? He's down to 4 minutes on that Sacred Site timer. He does have 59 villagers, but it doesn't tell you the full story, like, because this is such a strong cow boom. That food income, look at that. 1,600 food coming in for Vortix. He doesn't have a single villager on gold. That's how broken this thing is. Holy smokes. 1,500 food, absolutely 0 villagers on food. Actually, I take that back. I think he's just being pulled up. Yeah, it's just being pulled away. But, I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot of food coming in. I can guarantee that much. In the north, I mean, the thing is, B's got his army split a little bit. He's just dragging the army back and forth. I think at one point, Vortix will need to take the fight, of course. Yeah, it's going to come down to an all or nothing push, I think. I think B, I don't know. I just feel like B could be going to the castle age here at this point, and he'd be able to, he might need to sacrifice the sacred site, but it wouldn't be all in, right? It feels like he's going for an all-in play to really go for that sacred site victory. It's all or nothing at this point. The archers gauging against the Donso as much as they can, but the javelin throws in really healthy numbers here for Vortix. I think that's the key unit that's posing all the problems here for B. It's those javelin throws. Sacred site timeout, 2.5 minutes. He's backing off for now, but B's down to 73 military versus 45. We've seen the military numbers really start to build up for Vortix. I don't think B has enough. I think if he takes a fight, it's not going to be enough unless he has a whole army of scholars joining in as well. It doesn't seem like he has enough. I think over time, Vortix has just taken out too many of the scholars and, well, can try and build a gate on the southern side to get in, but he might just need to go the long way around. He's going to take it. He's going to take the fight, and I worry for B here. Oh, he's going to gauge against the veteran Don, so you don't want to do that. He loses a couple of Ghazi Raiders, 2 of them already, before even fighting. The ranged aspect to these units are so strong for the malians. It's going to decap the sacred site. I think B has to pull out. I don't think he can win the sacred site. I think he has to go to the castle age, but he's going to take the fight. I don't think he has enough. He just doesn't have enough. He's going to take the fight anyway. The Ghazi Raiders diving in, and B's going to take the fight, but I'm not convinced he has enough. A lot of archers firing off, but the javelin throw is going to rip through those. Not enough scholars, I don't think. Ghazi Raiders trying to engage against the Don, so this is a terrible fight for B. He's literally fighting counter versus counter, and it's got a castle age units versus feud age units, and Vortix going to be taking the central sacred site for sure. But not only that, the worst part of this for B is he's going to lose his whole army. He's down to 47, almost neck and neck numbers for Vortix and B in terms of military counts, and that is not what you want to see for B, because he is a whole age behind, and Vortix clears out all of that Delhi army. It's going to definitely deactivate that sacred site. The javelin throws in huge numbers, looking strong in their armor. Now B has to retreat. He had to retreat earlier, to be honest, but he never did, and now he loses the sacred site anyway. He was always going to lose that sacred site, and he has to back off now. But Vortix, he took a huge fight, and boy oh boy did it work out for him. 48 economy for 67, and well, I mean, B has done quite a bit of villager kills. He's got quite a few of them, 20 in total, but the cow boom has been so strong, and has got gold generation from the pit mine, and now it feels like Vortix is going to dive in. Now he won't mind diving in with the javelin throws. There's no problems with that. The Donsos maybe not so much, but he's going to take the fight anyway. He's going to push B off of gold, and now losing that sacred site is less gold coming in for B. Makes chances going to the castle age a little bit less. He's only got 5 food in the bank, only 3 villagers on food. This is looking terrible. B doesn't have any food in the bank. He's going to go for a farming transition. This is not the time for a farming transition, but he doesn't have a choice. The javelin throw is going to pick up the scholars. The archers, oh, this is terrible. These are feudal age archers versus castle age veteran javelin throws, and there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Vortix takes the game on Dry Arabia. It was so close yet so far for 3DB. Mistakes possibly were made, maybe regrets, but who knows. Either way, 3DB played it great, and Vortix just played it a little bit better.